Good morning. My name is Stephen Inscoe. I'm the co-founder of SM2, which is a research and marketing platform here. In addition to which, I've built several websites, listing platforms, scraping and analytics platforms, as well as an e-commerce site. So I spend a lot of my time thinking obviously about the main technologies influencing our lives today, and particularly looking at the best international examples, as well as looking at some of the biggest of the technologies which are going to shape our lives in the near future. My job today is really to give you a very quick overview of technology as it applies to real estate, because we have some very, very qualified specialists that will present some of the main technologies on which they're working today, which includes blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and for example, IoT. So right at the start, I want to ask you, when we say technology as it affects real estate, what is it that you think? There's a big resistance in real estate, and specifically as well, commercial real estate, to change. We're kind of happy how we do things. If you look at how things are done today, most of the time they haven't changed really much, and call it like the last 50 years. But that's really changing now, not in the future, but now. But right at the start, I'd like to ask you how you would describe technology. Not how you would define technology, but what characteristics would you give technology? I'd suggest to you that technology is young, it's smart, it's impatient. It frankly doesn't care how things have been done for the last 100 years or 50 years or whatever, if there's a better way to do it. And we've seen, for example, whether it's Google or Yandex or Facebook, for Kontakty, Kaspersky, whatever. Our lives today are defined by technologies which didn't exist 25 years ago. Technology is fast. In terms of the industries where technology has been most visible, bookshops, record shops, media, telecoms, we now will make our calls on WhatsApp or Skype or whatever, encyclopedias, yellow pages, and so forth. All these industries have been massively affected very quickly by technology. The other thing, well, it doesn't look great. The other thing is technology is unavoidable. This actually is a visualization by Kaspersky of internet use across urban centers. As you can see, in terms of the globe itself, there's very few black zones. In terms of technology, there's nowhere to hide. Another question for you. Is technology most advanced in rich markets because they're rich? Or are those rich markets richer because they have advanced technology? I'll leave you with one thought before the end. Now, technology is not something which exists just in the future, not something that we can try and avoid. Today, now, technology in real estate has created several multi-billion-dollar companies, especially among the portals such as Zillow in America, Immobilien Scout in Germany, RIA Group in Australia, and also among data and research companies. This is CoStar, which is based in North America. As you can see, yesterday, $20 billion valuation. In response to these changes in technology, people search and they research now online. And in response, the professionals have had to adapt to use their skills to use these technologies. But that's not where it stops. In 2016, 17, and 18, over $25 billion has been invested specifically in property-related technology to change all of our lives. And in fact, in the first quarter of this year alone, $9.9 billion has additionally been invested. I'm more than happy to share with you the list of all the companies where the investments have been made, but we're talking again portals, we're talking research sites, property management software, online brokers like Compass, for example, in the US, co-working, a whole group of different functionalities for the different technologies. You can assume where you make a profit today, there's somebody, at least one person, probably many, who are looking to build a technology to change what it is that you do if they can make it more efficient. Just 1 minute. So behind the different uses of technology, there's some pretty big technologies, and again, we're going to speak about these more in detail. Big data is something which makes markets transparent. If you think of all the data that's being generated by a self-driving car, or by planes, for example, and transpose that into what buildings would look like with sensors, and this is something which is happening. The Edge building, for example, in Amsterdam, at the moment occupied by Deloitte, is a reality. Those sensors capture an awful lot of data about how buildings are being used and how those building uses can be optimized and changed. In artificial intelligence and machine learning, massive amounts of data can be used using algorithms to learn about, for example, customer journeys on internet. And we're going to hear from Marcus today about the work that he's been doing with the biggest portal in Germany, Immobilien Scout, which has a direct impact on how they work. And in terms of the technologies, our lives are changing anyway, even in how we occupy space. So co-working, co-living, flexible retail space, flexible warehouse space, these are all realities today. The future will not see brokers and other professionals replaced by Scarlett Johansson like cyborgs. The future looks like this. It's built of algorithms, and this is the important thing. Algorithms need feeding with data. The algorithms and more of the processes on which we work will have support provided by decision making through algorithms. Possibly the best illustration of the combination of technology, talent, team, and money is Formula One. The best car can't win without at least a very good driver, very good team, and the money behind it. And similarly, all the money in the world can't buy success. It's really a combination of those things, and that's how technology lives. It doesn't live without humans. However, it is possible for smart and quick teams to win when the big teams aren't focusing. Whether it's Brabham, Lotus, Williams, McLaren, Braun, these are all relatively small teams which have won, whilst the bigger teams of Mercedes and Ferrari weren't paying attention. And it's a simple fact that very big companies do tech very badly. So if you look again at things like Google, Google was not invented by the Yellow Pages. Google was even up for sale, so they missed a second chance to acquire Google. Kodak invented the digital camera, but decided not to use it. So big companies tend to use technology very, very badly, which is a risk for them, which is what they need to look at, and obviously an opportunity for smaller companies equally. Commercial real estate has had a very evolutionary development. In other words, in the last 20 or 30 years, the main thing which has happened is the internationalization of investment, obviously of the professional groups, which are all international now, and of debt, for example, among the banks. But the near future, or the current and near future of commercial real estate is definitely a technological one. All of the technologies that I've described require data. As the markets become increasingly international, and this includes obviously with growth in Asia, growth of the middle class, growth of the number of investors looking at investments, those models have to be fed with data. And frankly, if the algorithms don't find that data in Moscow, they will just move on to another market. I wanted also to say that I think prop tech is something which should be a Russian thing. Why? In terms of property, Moscow is unique among European cities in having built over 62 million square meters of offices, retail, and warehouses in just the last 20 years. So Moscow is a real estate city. And Russia is a tech country, not only in terms of Yandex and Kaspersky, but in terms of the program talent here, in terms of the data scientists. And the illustration, obviously, is that even if Elon Musk wants to visit the International Space Station, the technology to get him there is Russian. And the last thing in terms of how we're looking, I think, at technology is really to say, well, two things. One, in terms of the chicken and egg thing, I think the answer is both. I think rich markets are richer because they have technology and also because they're bigger. But also in technology, I would say to everyone, we in property cannot give our clients a 20th century solution to their 21st century problem. Thank you very much. Here are a few references for those of you who are interested in PropTech. Unisu lists over 6,000 PropTech companies throughout the world. It's definitely worth having a look what the companies are doing, how much investment they're putting into the market, and so forth, and who's doing it. All the investments are listed. I'm happy to share, obviously, this as well. All the investments are listed in the CRE Tech end-of-year report for the last 3 years. What's the Future was written by the owner of the largest tech publisher in the world, and is a really super book. And Life 3 is a mathematician's view of how humans and artificial intelligence interact. And there's lots more books I can recommend the further you want to read. So you're getting lots of book recommendations between David and I this morning. So with that, thank you very much.